That's right. It's another late night and time for another reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag. And tonight we're pulling out, oh my goodness, how did this get here? Hashtag like a man, always hashtag like a girl parody. Just Giggle It sketch number 38, directed, written, and edited by Joshua Thomas. Improvisos, we think.
Hashtag it's not, at least it's not Excitable Spider-Man.
Yes.
Dragon, I'm just gonna come out and say it. This is maybe on the lower tier of JGI sketches. It's got some funny moments in it, and it is kind of a who's who of of early JGI players, which is fun to see. And I don't know, we haven't talked about our opinions of it. You might feel completely differently about it. But for me, Dragon, I feel like this sketch drags on at least a minute too long. It's kind of like, all right, we get the joke. We get the joke, which rarely happens with JGI sketches, Dragon, no matter if the sketch is like 2 minutes long or if the sketch is like, closer to 10 minutes long in the case of something like Cat Lover. Rarely feels like it drags. And this one, I think, drags a little bit. And also, Dragon, I just feel like the parody is just so super specific that I don't know. I get what they're going for, Dragon, but this one I'm just gonna just say right off the bat, it's not in the Excitable Spider-Man league, but I would say it's like a tier up from Excitable Spider-Man.
Hmm.
All right. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, Dragon. I tried. I watched this 3 times in a row just to see if I could get a handle on it. I gotta say, man, I think I'm missing something. And I did watch the parody too. Don't get me wrong. I did watch what this is based off of, so I'm not in the dark in that regard. All right, Dragon, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm notwithstanding, Excitable Spider-Man, I would say this is the weakest parody. But again, when you factor in Excitable Spider-Man, they're like, okay, well, it's not the weakest parody, obviously. So.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, it's the weakest parody yet possibly the most dead on the money parody, which is interesting. Basically, I guess what I'm saying is they kind
I
of
feel
did
like the timing is kind of off as well.
well. What I'm saying, Tiki, is I think it's so on. It's a parody that's exactly on the money, but maybe to its detriment that it's so on the money that they didn't
Right,
do good a
right.
job, and that it's a very dated parody. That's the problem. It's just one that just did not withstand the test of time that well. Yet oddly suited our purposes. A little bit of context here. So, of course, this is a parody of Always. Now, apparently, and this is just where Tiki and I I don't know about Tiki, at least this is where I kind of show I'm a stupid guy, where apparently I kind of came to learn my follow-up research, because I just thought Always was like kind of like a kind of an empowerment sort of campaign, like girl power and all that sort of stuff. But apparently, it was a lot more simple than that. Apparently, Always is what some people in the audience are probably thinking it is. It's the makers of feminine hygiene products.
Yep.
Yes, and more. So again, this is where this is where we get into the weak points of the parody. Just the ad campaign in itself really doesn't really connect to the product that much when you think about it. It's just real like it's like just feels like female. So let's have an ad campaign, not really advertising the product at all, but just like saying we're in support of women because they're our market, right? Just some inherent flaws in just kind of the marketing campaign, which I think they got so right to the point where it's like, and we're making a parody of a parody that's not really working that well. I don't know.
There's just a lot of moments in this. There's a few funny moments. I think Sager is definitely
Sagar.
the this. I'm sorry, God, it's been a while. Sagar, I think, is the shining star in this, Dragon. I feel like all his bits, all his timing is spot on. But honestly, I don't know if it's a factor of like they're trying to get the timing of the commercial down, so therefore it feels awkward because the commercial is awkward. I don't know, man. I just like I kind of appreciate the general premise of this thing. I feel like it could have been funny. This is one of, like I said, this is one of the few JGI sketches where I'm like, oh man, the pirate on the boat kind of tipped his toe in the water a little bit in Josh Thomas's case.
Okay, two things. Real quick. Okay, so one's again, oddly, things just kind of timed out ridiculously well because the parody, basically the original video that pops up whenever you look at this video is the hashtag like a girl original video is, I believe, a Super
Yes.
Bowl ad, which, of course, we're doing this close after the Super Bowl. It's kind of funny, ironic timing on that, because you basically athleticism and everything was kind of worked into it.
So this
So-
was Super Bowl 2014.
I think so. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Okay.
It was either 2014 or 2015, one of the two.
Uh,
Anyway, point being, again, this is where we get to like have it gets kind of dated. Where this is not only is this like an ad campaign, it's a real 1%er ad campaign.
right.
But the other thing though, because there's a little detail in this sketch that made me almost like kind of JFK style, have to like to pause the video, like, wait a minute. I don't think Joshua Thomas directed this.
You don't really.
I think Brian Wiley directed this.
Wow. Okay.
We'll get to it when we get to it, but let's just say I have proof.
Wiley
potential
is a
proof.
man of parodies.
He is, and it's been a while. I can't remember. I know we know for a fact Joshua Thomas did not do Excitable Spider-Man. I forget if that was Brian Wiley. I think it was Brian Wiley directly because he was in that as well, and Brian Wiley also was in this. And I wonder if it might be a little bit more egg on the face of the great director that is Brian Wiley, who unfortunately,
All right, don't be too hard on the lad.
yeah, I don't know, and maybe it's like I wonder if Joshua Thomas is watching this. Maybe it was like a sigh of relief. Oh, thank God they got it. They wasn't fully my handiwork. I don't know.
All right.
Anyway, okay. So all that. So let's just dive right into it. Okay. So we
Oh
start.
boy.
We start with a very behind-the-scenes setup, which again mirrors the ad campaign very well. Where basically we're showing you people being sat in front of a camera and basically being interviewed by a lady off screen. The lady off screen in this case is Jamie Cox.
God.
As the lady behind the camera, and we let's see. So then we have the clapper, and the clapper is, if you look at the clapper, all the markings. So like Brian Wiley directed by Brian Wiley and Jason Ramlow on the camera. Which, by the way, so oddly enough, Jason Ramlow, of course, one of the great directors of JGI. He also kind of man who operates the camera. We actually get to see him operate the camera. How heady, right? Which is kind of cool when you think about it. Anyway. So
there is a little bit of, like I said, with this sketch. I think probably the best part about it is sort of like some of the cool like JGI Easter eggs within the cast that you can kind of pick out from.
Oh yeah, there's a humdinger
So-
in there too. There's like a big Easter egg. Like, oh boy, we did something really fun with one of them.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. So the base of the parody in itself here, I love that they got the text. And again, that's what I'm saying. They did too good a job on the parody. Like the text and the color of the ads is identical to the point where it's just like now we're looking for something deeper in an original ad that really isn't that clever.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know, Dragon. It's just like, it's funny. It's funny because I feel like JGI, they really resist going after easy parodies, right? Like, and this isn't an easy parody, but man, I don't know. It's like JGI, they only do parodies if they really see potential in it.
Let me give you an example of a JGI parody. That's a dated one, but a dated one that plays better, that still plays, where this one does not.
Okay.
The Miss America one, Missed Connections, that one.
That still totally plays. Yeah, you're right. You don't even need to know about the pop culture reference to enjoy that one.
Yeah, exactly. This one, not exactly the case, and it's you're wondering.
This one, honestly, when I watched it blind, Dragon, I was lost. I was like, I chuckled a couple times.
But again, so just getting back on point, we're going to dig into that as we go on here. But again, like we have the text and the color, basically, as the text on screen is kind of the question being posed essentially for like all the just like a man of it all. Basically, the first piece of text is like, what does it mean to do something? # like a man or like a man. Then we have Julian Silver playing this Aaron character. So Julian Silver is he's on screen. And he's basically given action by Jamie Cox off screen. I love when these two are paired together, by the way. Especially it brings me back to the fun Serial Mom times,
Oh yeah. Good times.
So let's see. So basically our premise, we're given an action to demonstrate and respond to, essentially, which coalesce with like what the big epic text on the screen is,
Uh-huh.
So how would you respond to your wife learning that your wife cheated on you? How would you take it like a man? So basically, you give it the gag is like a girl basically re-examines the whole you throw like a girl, and like basically taking back the word and kind of empowering. That's essentially what the ad campaign was about. Like, we're going to take a term that's derogatory, we're going to make it empowering, and now we're doing it with men, but again, it doesn't quite have the same punch.
All right, so we see just a series of men, including Joshua Thomas, Sager. Who else, Dragon?
Let's see. So we go from okay. So we go.
They're all basically doing the same thing. They're all basically kind of just like sighing, folding their arms, kind of having the arm on the arm on the hips kind of thing.
Yeah, basically we see internalized acceptance of like, okay, you're right to cheat on you, but again, taking it like a man is like, you're not really emoting. So we see Julian Silver, we see Joshua Thomas, like, okay, and then Sager, then Piper Hinson's receiving.
This is great.
Then we have, I believe, Annalyn. Sorry, I'm going to mispronounce her last name. I feel stupid. Annalyn Takongo.
She's a deep cut, Dragon. She's a deep cut. Don't feel.
Yes, I remember. Just to give her credit, so sure, I do recognize her. She did the commentary on 912, and Josh just made this joke that they couldn't get Yuka.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah,
we got another Asian player from JGI, which is hysterical. Anyway,
so like I said, just a bunch of arms folding, about a bunch of hunching.
Then we have like Grandma died, and then we have the reaction. We go from to go to Annalyn to Sager, who just says like, "I don't care." This is
where things are funny. This is probably the funniest section, I think. Sager is just like, okay.
It's like, I don't care, and then we have Wiley and Josh Downs, then Piper Hinson, and then like I believe Piper says like, oh, I'm glad she lasted this long.
I believe her words are, I'm surprised she lasted this long.
Right. So then we spice things. This to me is where things begin to get funny. This is where now we're at least I get where they're going with here, and this is where things I believe are landing at their best here. So now we spice it up with asking older men. We ask, kind of the older middle-aged men. The same questions. We have Ernest, who is, I believe, is kind of a pun on his temperament, where he's an earnest guy who basically lived hard on the sleeve type. I think that's kind of what the pun is with the guy's name. And he's played by Chuck Wiggerton, I believe his name is Chuck here. By the way, I don't think he's ever appeared in another JGI sketch. I think he might be a oneer, but he's a good oneer, though. I think.
I mean, we've gone through most of them, Dragon, at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he. He's a wonder. He looks like, I gotta tell you, looking at Chuck, he looks like he would be in Watching You, but I know he's not, because that was in the San Antonio years.
Right.
He's not, but he looks like he'd be primed to be anyway. So I'm drifting off subject. The point being here, Chuck, he was a good wonder though. So we have Chuck here playing this 48-year-old man named Ernest. This is your wife cheat on you. Then he begins to weep. He begins to weep. Then we have Joey Rich, another kind of our middle-aged man type here, another oneer, I believe. Joey, he's frustrated. Then we have here's the real heavy hitter, man. The man going the bat here. Casey at bat, one could argue. Mark Sipka in great middle-aged makeup
is absolutely fantastic in his brief screen time in this.
I'm saying, I think Mark Sipka is he's the ace in the hole. Guys, it's a little weak sauce, but
he kind of is.
Guys, we need a grand slam here. Who's the guy who coined that phrase? Put some middle-aged makeup on him and put him in the game, darn it.
You threw us away.
So we have I love that line. That's probably my favorite delivery of the whole thing. You throw us away. Right, let's see. So then we have the grandma response, where Joey's going like, Nana. And Mark Sipka has the soft grandma. Then we have the
grandma.
Weeping. We then go back to Joey weeping and take me instead.
And then we have Fight Like a Man and Chuck, is it?
Yeah, well, Ernest, though, the character Ernest
Chuck. Ernest is just take my wallet. I don't want any trouble. I don't believe in violence.
The Kevin Smith years, I won't go graphically as Kevin Smith would describe a mugging, how he would get out of a mugging, but you get the point. Just take the wallet. We're all good here. Joey's asking, what does Joey say?
Joey's well, I guess I'd kick him in the dick.
So then Mark Sipka has the.
Oh, this is great.
I love how Sipka is just like, you can kind of see a side view of Sipka, and he's just like method acting this man.
Sipka is quite great here. Where again, the other big MVP line of the whole thing here, where Sipka is in response to cheating, your wife's cheated on you. Everything I love in life is over.
Life is over.
Perfect. So let's see. So now we're getting into, again, this is where again we're maybe paying a little bit too much kind of parody service to the original here. Where
it's kind of just like going like a Gus Van Sant, like, okay, we're just doing everything beat by beat from the commercial.
Yeah, where it's like, when did Take It Like a Man become an emotionless lie? And Piper Hinson's response. Now I saw this. This is directly from this one. Everything is very verbatim from the thing. But this one especially, because basically you had the little boy talking about his sister, but not meaning to offend his sister. And here we have with the wife of the husband, presumably, where Piper is like asking you, do you feel, after learning what you've learned here today, do you feel you've insulted your husband? And she's like, no, I told that to I was meant at men, not my husband. We even have the monitor shots, which I'll give them points for, with the monitor shots. That's what I'm saying. I think they should have paid more service to the style.
The style is good. You're right. There are good things going for this Dragon. It's just too niche. That's the problem.
So then we have like Ernest here weighing in. Do you think it's a good thing? And Ernest says, I don't really know. I mean, he's as if wondering, is it a bad thing because it's telling you not to feel, which essentially is the moral. We're basically take it like a man.
Dragon, this is basically taken line for line from the commercial as well.
Pretty much. So let's see. So basically we learned like a little fact with a man's confidence plummets during the midlife crisis. And then Joshua, oh god. Now here's the thing. Now in the original product ad, this is where they're actually relating to the product. I'd imagine where we're actually relating to kind of the need for the always feminine hygiene products. We're pairing that sensitive special time someone's going.
Well, in the always ad, they go specifically like the 10 to 12 starting puberty range.
Exactly, and that's exactly where now we're relate. I'll admit that is quite funny when you relate that to the midlife crisis, but I don't think I feel it's like it's too late in the sketch to glom onto that, and it's kind of too fleeting like that. I think there might be some comedy there, but we're not quite going like the Law and Order parody.
The problem is it relies on not only people knowing the commercial, but also knowing the commercial like beat by beat.
And again, I'll give you an example. We know JGI could make this sort of comedy work. I mean, look at the Law and Order parody. It's all about the period, man, and they made it funny.
Oh God, right.
That's what I'm saying. And again, here it's just kind of lip service, and it's just kind of like, hey, we're kind of connecting our comedic themes here, right?
All right. So continuing on.
I assume we mirror some shaky cam here as we have Julian Silvers kind of going on here. It's just like, yeah, it's basically relating the whole that time of it all right now. It's just it kind of cuts them down as they're trying to figure themselves out during that sensitive time. And again, there's the parallel. Then we have Joshua Thomas. Now here's my problem. As much as we love Joshua Thomas, I feel the writing's really off here.
I do too. I'm glad that we kind of feel the same way because this is
because you didn't understand this either, did you?
Not really, honestly.
I think he's kind of saying nonsense, and I think that's
what he's saying is he's kind of just like trying to kind of like latch on to the commercial. That's all it is.
Essentially, again, it really doesn't make much linear sense when you really spell it out. And that was the trouble in the note taking process. Even if I give you out verbatim, it's not going to make much sense. It's just basically it's like I'm really having trouble with kind of articulating it here because basically it's like if you're told like you're cheating, your football team loses, you're not going to be able to procreate like a man, and basically Josh Thomas' response to this is you take it like you would because it's already working for it. And again, I think the idea is it's a mixed moral, and that's the point. That's the comedy. It's a mixed moral, and this guy he thinks like take it like a man is like the way we're supposed to operate, right? But I don't think he's articulating that quite linearly. I don't know.
It's really like again. God, I didn't expect to go into this and just be like super critical about it. I'm sorry. But I agree with you, Dragon. I agree. It is very much a mixed kind of it's messy. It's like I get what they're going for,
they're going for the idea that the commercial itself has a mixed message. I think that's the point, like you said. But it's just, man, you don't even really know unless you've seen the commercial. It's messy territory.
But I mean,
dude.
even so, Tiki, it's like, honestly, here's the line that really broke my mind when I was trying to get it. Okay, the line essentially was, you basically, the way you take a death or like the loss of your home team or your wife or someone cheating on you, that's their problem. Like, what does that even mean? That's their problem? What? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's where they lost me with that. That's their problem. Like, I thought I was getting like the mixed moral thing where he's oblivious to like this is a bad thing, and that was the comedy. But now it's like, well, that's their problem. Like, wait, what? And then it goes on from there. I'm just kind of like I'm like tearing away the thread. I'm just like I'm losing the ground.
This is exactly my point, Dragon. This is where it's like, okay, the sketch is it's reached its conclusion, and now it's gone too far. It's we're kind of into the overlong mode at this point.
And then it kind of finds itself in where he says, because I'm a man, that's not something I should be ashamed of. And again, that should be like where you hit the punch of the parody right there. We're like, yes, this is why men don't have these ads. I think that's the joke we're trying to circle around here. Men don't have ads like these because we're gonna botch the message. I think that's what we're getting at, but I don't know. All right, let's see. So then, I believe Joshua Thomas says, he's asked like, how do you take your wife cheating on you like a man? Any different? Basically, everyone's just kind of posed. If you were asked. We're posing this to Saga right now. So if you were asked after everything we've been through in this commercial now that your wife was cheating on you like a man, now knowing all the things involved in that, would you respond to any differently? And Saga says, I'd tell her off. I'd tell her off like myself. Would you care to redo it? And again, this is where Saga is yet another MVP in this sketch too.
It is Saga and Sipka's sketch for sure.
Yeah, and Saga here just going like, I'd like to redo it again, like the uplifting. Like now it's like, yeah, we're just like saying,
yes, I would.
let's hash out arguments. Let's go the Marriage Story approach with our arguments here. Yeah, let's
maybe not go that far with the argument.
Sure. And then we have like intercut like Joshua Thomas shouting and all sorts of stuff there, and we have like text on the screen. Let's make hashtag like a man mean amazing things. Which again, I see where we're going with that joke. I do. It's just I don't think we've linked up or anything. I don't think we've earned that by the end of this. Join us as the champion men's confidence in truth in their true feelings at Jeff Skiglet and so on and so forth. And then Aaron is asked. The Julian Silver character is asked, can taking it like a man, basically his response to, can taking it like a man, can I respond, basically in response to the cheating, can I just kick a guy's butt while I'm crying? Can't that be taking it like a man? Which again, I think we just saved all the funny stuff to the very end where we just lost momentum. I think that's the problem.
Dragon, like I said, if this was a solid 3 minutes instead of 4.5 minutes, I know it's not much, but we kind of get down to the minutia when it comes to these things, and especially with so few left here, it's like we're really trying to break them down. And like I said, I think that extra minute really did kind of go to its detriment because it did kind of make it a very beat by beat of the commercial where you had to really uber specifically know about the commercial and know about what the commercial was saying and how this was kind of like mimicking it. So yeah, kind of rolling into my final thoughts, Dragon. This is really unfortunately, I hate to say it this late in the game with our grab bag here, folks, but this is a lower tier one for sure. It's not in the same tier as Excitable Spider-Man, but it is kind of in that sort of like C- D+ tier, I would say.
Yeah. Also, we have like the Sagas, like oh heck no, just as he's starting to rail in there, rewrite the rules kind of thing at the end where he uses the search bar. But yeah, final thoughts from me, quite simply. Again, it's an example of a dated parody that just doesn't quite hold up as well. There's comedy to be had in this, which is something more I can say than I can say with Excitable Spider-Man. There's nothing to really glean from that one. That one's just not great. Anyway, but this has funny moments too. Just again, a little too lost in the authenticity of like we're just going beat by beat by thing. Basically, I'm echoing Tiki and I are remarkably simpatico on this. I don't know what else to tell you, folks. I mean, it's just, it's just like they did it. Honestly, Just Giggle, they did it a little too well in this case. And again, it's like just them going kind of the non so on the nose route with the parodies may have bit them a little bit here. Like, not many people are going to recognize it, and it's no it's no misconnections by any stretch. I hate to say it, but so would be. Good news is I can tease that we're gonna our next kind of let me put it this way: the theme month of February, if there is one, is vaguely Valentine's Day related. I'll say that much.
So yeah. Also, Dragon, what's the number that we're at right now? How many do we have left? Do you know?
Yes, I do. Just give me. Let me make because see, folks. Now we got the missing sketches back. Just to kind of amend that. Of course, I'm gonna tout that. I'm gonna tout that up to the fine folks at Just Giggle. Literally brought it up to them, and they kind of fixed it overnight. I don't know if it was just by sheer coincidence it was fixed or what. I mean, they weren't there. Now they are. So it's just good for them. Really great response time for the folks at JGI. So I just want to kind of shout that out. Shout that out there. And sorry, folks, just want to make sure I get the official number here. We have. Okay, here we go. Sorry, here we go. Okay, so now, okay, I'm going to literally check it off as we do this right now that we've done this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we have there basically in total we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. Basically, we have 10 left. We had 10 left, and we had 10 left. Now we have 9, 8, 7. We have 7 left.
Oh man! All right. Getting into the final stretch here, folks.
We have 7
Do you
left.
have any plans for the last one, Dragon?
Well, I imagine the YSOs would be the last one because basically the YSOs there is a 10th, but the 10th hasn't even been released yet. So the point is, we know a 10th is coming. So that one will probably de facto be our last. I have an idea for our last one up to that. It's going to be basically the one that's going to say we're plumb out before the YSO. So I'm thinking we're probably going to go that route.
All right.
That's probably the route we're going to go. We're probably just going to save like the plumb out one just to show like it's going to be kind of a little smoke signal to JGI. Guys, we're out. We're out. Drop the supplies. Drop
Do
the
weekly
supplies.
again. Do weekly.
Drop the supplies, Josh!
Oh, God. Okay. All right, take us out, Dragon.
That does it for now until the next exciting reach into the Just Giggle grab bag. Hashtag like a man. The man's world.
You took the most important thing in my life, and you ruined it!
Wade Carrington!